What's going on, everybody? Jonathan Garza here. And was it beginner's luck yesterday? Or what happened today? 1 in 5? I almost completely crashed on my face, but I'm here to hold myself accountable, share real results with real people, not just be some YouTuber that goes and shares tales of success. I'm going to own the bad times too. They said 1 in 5 today, lost $32. I have lessons today. I don't have exciting news to share other than the fact that we've learned to take some humble pie, we've paid some tuition, and I'm going to share my experiences with you. So stay tuned. Here comes some charts. All right, so today I wanted to start off by showing you guys my journal to show you that I'm not just making stuff up or anything. I'm going to keep the video a little shorter today too. I always want to make sure to point out this is for educational and informational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional trader by any means, as you will see today. Yesterday was, it could have been good luck, but where one goes up, the law of averages says one must go down. So you'll see I made 6 trades today, coming off of the 5 trades I made yesterday. ONTX twice, ATOS twice, SNDL and THTX. Okay, so just kind of show you guys what I have here. I built this sheet in Google Sheets. You know, I let myself put how much settled cash I have for the day, or in other words, you know, your cash isn't always readily available. If you make a transaction, it's got to settle. I've seen that it takes 2 business days to settle. So I wrote code to allow me to use half of what I have total, or my buying power. I go into my day trade, and you'll see here, half of my buying power is rock solid. I'm not touching it. So half of that, 25% of my money, is this to invest. I think I have that worded wrong, and I need to go and correct that. But that's frozen money. That's basically money for tomorrow. And the other quarter is my invested and how much I have left to trade with for today. And you'll see here, I still need to work out some kinks on this journal. So I had to add in $48.74 to offset what was incorrect. But you'll see my trades here. I started at 6:32 in the morning with ONTX. So let's go look at ONTX. All right, ONTX. So I have 6 images of ONTX. So I got in at ONTX this morning at 6:32. And I changed up all my times to be Pacific time. So just a word of warning, it might confuse you if you're looking from Eastern time. And I might change it back because that's market time. But 6:32, I'm rushing. I see 4 bars on a minute chart. I see a gap here on the 2-minute. But I see this VWAP squeeze. And immediately I think, oh man, we're going to go off of this rally from yesterday. We're going to stay hot. We're going to keep going. So, wise word. The market takes about 15 minutes to consolidate itself. And I probably, really reminded myself of that this morning. So, I got in and it falls. My stop loss set at 95 cents. I got in at $1.01. Which was the high of day. And you'll see here, I want to start including information on the companies. That way I can start studying more or less which companies yes, which companies no. So anyway, high of day at this point was $1.01. Now, I tried getting aggressive here. And I said, I'm going to get in at that $1.01. My philosophy, though, is that I should be getting in a little higher than that. That way I ride the momentum and it breaks. And I get some momentum to hopefully shoot up to these levels up here. Targeting 115. I wanted a 3-to-1 trade here. Okay. So as you can see, I took some humble pie again. 7 minutes later at 6:39, I get stopped out. And I'm down, down, down. Okay. And it comes back up. And you'll see here, I jumped back in. This time I jumped in at $1.02. Okay. Well, we'll fast forward a little here. That was at 6:55. So I was in that trade. I was in that trade for 50 minutes. 48 minutes to be exact. And I got out of that trade at 7:43 at $1.08. So I never hit my $1.14 target. But again, let me explain here that I'm seeing this VWAP squeeze. I'm seeing triangles, albeit they look like they're going to be bearish triangles. But I decide, hey, this is forming a continuation pattern here. I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to go in. And I start hitting my levels. It gets up to $1.10. I started drawing out what I believe to be this trend line support based off of these triangles, which are now appearing to be bullish to me. So triangles are a continuation pattern. And more often than not, and again, nothing is guaranteed in the market, but more often than not, this means this is going to continue on that upward trend. Well, I decided to get out again at $1.08. So roughly about there, I exited at 7:43. Okay, so this is a little bit before that. This is just after that. So I see this falling. I jump out. Now, this shot back up to $1.16 right after. I didn't screenshot that, but it continued with that triangle pattern. And I'm going to scroll back so you can see my markings from earlier. So we're looking back at 7:43. Okay, so 7:43 is roughly right there where I got out. It jumped up to $1.16 and it fell. And it's consolidating again, and it fell, and it broke its support. You know, support line is probably here about this level 1, I would say. That's at the dollar, and it broke down to 96 cents. You know, right now, it's trying to rally back up. But, you know, I probably got out of this a little too soon. I probably left a couple of cents on the table here, but again, we're not greedy, right? The next lesson I want to talk about is do not get yourself into multiple transactions at the same time. Yes, if you're investing, you can hold different securities in your portfolio and you want to diversify it, sure. But scalping, you can't be in two places at the same time. You can't hang out with your brother while hanging out with your best friend if you guys are in different places. It's just not possible. Same for the stock market. Do not get multiple securities. I learned the hard way today. And I'm not going to say it's the first time because it's not. Will it be the last time? Hope is not a strategy, but I hope it is. And I need to be better on myself about this. I need to stay disciplined. I need to follow the plan and strategy. Okay, so I'll go to the charts and I'll show you what I did. And, you know, it wasn't good. All right, THTX. So this is what I saw when I decided I wanted to get in onto this trade. You'll see over here that I have ONTX working in the background as well. But I got excited because this one started moving. And the VWAP squeeze. And I'm thinking, man, I'm having a bad day. They can't all go bad, can they? So THTX I got in at 7:07. So it's literally right as I got in, I took this screenshot. And it falls. Okay. THTX, I was in for 9 minutes. I got out at 7:16, which is right there. So I rushed. While I'm still in ONTX. You know, that was, again, a 50-minute trade to make $6. I lost $15 here. And while I was trying to go and say this was going to be trend line resistance, you know, it could have been. And let's see what happens after this. So let's go back to our Webull. THTX. Again, we're looking at 716. 716. So it fell and it came back up. And it came back up a little more. High of day is 315, which means it did come back at some point. No, I lie. It didn't come back because the high of day was when it gapped and it just fell and it failed. So going back here, that's where that failure happened. So let's draw a horizontal line here. And we're going to track that line the rest of the day. You know, and this lowers because there's nothing within the range to show me. It didn't come back. It didn't come back. I jumped on this THTX because I thought this was the way. This was what was going to get me to try to rebound on my day. Okay. And this is looking bullish. Look at this big red candle. Look at this big red candle. These green candles are getting smaller. Sure, it's got a big green candle, but then you've got the red bearish engulfing candle followed by another big red candle. That is a no-no. I should have waited. I should not have gotten so excited. We'll go back to my journal and let's see what my notes say on THTX. VWAP squeeze is becoming my favorite thing to watch out for. Failed. And stop watching 2 trades at once, please. I don't just communicate it to you. I keep myself to the highest of standards possible, okay? And that's exactly where I'm telling you, don't do 2 at 1. Stick to 1. Give it all your attention. Be the master of that trade. I fully believe every trade has a personality, and it's up to us to be a good judge of character. Learn the personality and attack it at its weakness and make it your strength, okay? And that brings me to my last lesson, and that's just don't rush. I mentioned it yesterday. I started my day late. I jumped to try to get into a trade, and I set a limit order instead of a stop order. And I got stopped out in a matter of seconds, and it took me out of a trade. I lost a little bit of cash, but I lost my funds that it could have been used to make profit elsewhere. And I did it with ATOS again today. I set myself up almost perfectly, except my automatic stop loss of 448 under my price action of 450 stopped me out in a matter of seconds. And while I only lost about $2, I lost an opportunity to invest $460. And even worse, this trade would have made some money back. So I'll go ahead and get back to the charts and show you exactly what happened. That way we learned a lesson together. But just, you know, a point from sports. Character is not developed by winning. It's developed when you lose. You know, a person's character is determined by how they handle adversity and what they do with it and how they're going to recover from it. So let's get back to the charts. And I mentioned earlier how I got in on ATOS twice. So I saw this again, VWAP squeeze over the 50, the 20, and the 200. Not seeing a lot of volume here though, and that's probably a red flag that I should have looked for. But I thought Fibonacci says we can jump up pretty nicely here. And so I got in at 470 the first time, you know, stopped out at 460 on that pullback. 470 really seemed to be a wall for ATOS today. So I identified at 7.49, $4.50. If it breaks $4.50, which was about right here, I said this was going to jump. But it took this little dip here. And it rode the VWAP a little at 443, and I stopped that at 448. Okay, so let's go back to Webull. And we're looking at 749. 749. Here's that pullback, and it jumps up. Jumps up to about 458 as we saw. My stop loss would have been 445. So I'm just gonna put that out there. And you see at 8:10, almost about a half hour later, it goes up to 474. Now it doesn't quite reach my profit levels as I projected with Fibonacci. But at 474, I'm locking in my stop loss, right around break even. At 474, I may already be at 460. And if I go and sell at 460, I've made $10 rather than losing $2. I know I wouldn't have sold at 474, but that would have been a $24 hit. Although let's say I'm at 474 and it's 809. We'll go back here to the 2-minute chart at 809. I'm seeing a hammer. I see a big body. I see hammers falling. I probably start getting nervous right about here. That's 450 though. So let's backtrack a little. It's starting to fall. It's starting to fall. This looks like indecision to me, but when it's starting to fall that rapidly and after the day I had, I'm gonna say I would have sold at 460. And it's really easy for me to say that because I lost. But I think I would have had an aggressive stop loss at this point. So a lot of these trades we talked about in the chat room today with Julian and the J. Lewis trading group, and it was on me. It's not on them. Your team's going to give you as much detail as possible to help you win any trade. But what you do with it, what entry, what exit, what indicators you decide to play around with, that's on you. This was on me today. I started out 9-2 before today. 1-5 today. I'm 10-7 now. I'm sitting at 58%, which is still around my 60% goal. So the law of averages said I was bound to have a bad day. If a bad day at $32 loss is the worst day that I see this month, you better believe I'm going to be happy because perspective says you got to give a little to get a little back. So if I come back tomorrow, and even if I make $10 tomorrow, I just want to get back in the green, get some momentum, get back into the positive, and do the right thing. I'm Jonathan Garza. Best of luck the rest of today. Rest up, study up for tomorrow, and we'll see what lessons we learn tomorrow. Let's get them together. Let's go make some money. Have a great day.